guys, welcome to the new episode of JellyCast, and today I invited the founder of Heist and Remnants Juice. We will discuss the progress of project, the game development, the plans, etc. Hello Juice, how are you man?
I am doing fantastic. I'm about two coffees deep to get myself prepared for this. So I'm all jacked up and ready to go.
That's great. Good
Thanks for
morning
having
man.
me on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, thank you for coming today. And I think we can start with the first question, right?
Let's do it.
I really want to ask you about the Longwood Labs, your gaming studio that created the Remnants, the Haste. So I wanted to
hmm
ask, what is the next for the studio? Some long-term plans you can share? Maybe plans of creating a full game, not a browser, I mean, without gambling elements. Or you guys are just focusing on the haste and remnant updates?
Yeah, it's a great question. And in order to talk about where we're going, I think it's important to know where we came from. So we started up the Remnants back in October of 2021. And we saw this spot or this niche that existed within Web3 gaming that was really just like an empty gap. So we saw, looked around at Ethereum, looked around what's going on in Solana, Avalanche, all the chains, the L1s. And it seemed like everything that was being built was this, World of Warcraft, RuneScape, like these
Mm-hmm.
huge MMO RPG
Mm-hmm.
titles,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was competing for this same space, and no one was going after this more casual or idle games that you see now in the Remnants and the Heist. So we said, we looked at some data and we said mobile gaming specifically and idle gaming and casual gaming is going to go parabolic here over the next 5, 10 years. Why don't we take a step back and build for that audience instead of going after, the same AAA gaming studio kind of titles? So that's what we did. We launched the Remnants in December of 2021. We launched mobile capabilities about 3 or 4 months after. We were the first ones who were, we were the first playable game through Phantom's mobile browser. Um, so yeah, I mean that's the niche that we're targeting. We are an idle gaming studio. Even the Heist now, as you'll see, the gameplay never takes really more than 5 to 10 minutes per session, which is what we aim for. And we just know our audience. We know right now those who are playing Web3 games are crypto native folks, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily have the time to go and grind for hours on a game like World of Warcraft or RuneScape. They want to get in, they want to get out and get back to the 9 to 5 job and their families, and people are just busy. So, we're targeting right now, currently, the crypto native audience and have some huge plans in the future to expand out. And as the Web 2 gaming audience becomes more comfortable and more familiar with the UI UX of a Web 3 experience, we want to be there to capture that market share as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got it. I got it. So no plans for now of creating something really huge, I mean, outside of the browser.
Oh no, we certainly have plans for creating something huge. I mean, the Heist, although it's browser based right now,
Yeah.
we have definitely talked furiously about getting something similar to like a step-in kind of independent mobile application on mobile. It's funny because I was actually just talking on its basis with the Solana Saga team as well. So mobile's huge. If you look at the numbers, there's projected to be by 2024 about 3 billion mobile gamers. So, our thesis has always been if we can create a gaming experience that's fun, entertaining, has clean UI, UX, and is easy enough for your grandma to play, and they don't know the difference if they don't even know that they're playing a Web3 game. We think that's where we can come in and capture a solid amount of market share. So we do have plans to build something absolutely massive.
That's
I
great.
think we're well positioned to do so given what we've built thus far.
Yeah, that's nice. I just was wondering that the Longwoods has possibilities for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not, right? If you're not going to shoot for the moon, why even fucking start?
Right, right. So how many members you have in studio right now? I mean, developers, artists, marketers, and other workers.
Yeah, we're a decent sized team, I guess, relative to other teams in the Web3 NFT and crypto space. We're about 15 strong ish. Probably half is dedicated to marketing, ops, game design, tokenomics, and the other half being developers. All of our developers are in house. We don't outsource any work. Everything is done by our own studio employees. So we're a good team. We're solid. I mean, we've been putting out updates left and right as of late for the heist. I don't know of too many teams who are outputting and executing more than us. So just been really, really happy and super proud of our team, especially the developer has just been working around the clock for now six-ish months to just put the best gaming experience out there. Um, it's been great. It's been fun. But yeah, super proud of our team.
Yeah, that's solid, solid. So you said that the first product that the Longwood studio did was the Remnant, and it's
Yep.
your first NFT project. Is it still fully active and you guys running it? As I noticed, it was a bit more quiet than the Heist, and the last announcement was like 2 months ago, something like this. What are you planning next for this one?
Yeah. So as of right now, the Remnants is absolutely still active. So we've been planning, or we've had plans. We talk about going big. We've had plans for remodeling the Remnants. We've been calling it Remnants Remastered or Remnants 2.0, where we shift towards this mobile first kind of game, which would be an MMO idle RPG. The same benefits of blockchain game where users own all their assets through the game characters. They would own certain buildings, certain pieces of land, but the Remnants is definitely still active. We still have large plans for that. We've been talking with users more on like a one-to-one basis than any announcements, just to set correct expectations, just saying, hey guys, our focus is on the heist at the moment. We're only so big of a team, but we still do have plans and are talking every day about what is to come for Remnants. And the community's been very, very understandable, and we appreciate them too. Most of them are also heist players, so they've gotten a taste of both games and have been enjoying both and appreciating them for their differences too. So it's been good. Our community has been awesome.
Yeah, and you just said that the last month you guys were more focused on the haste, of course. So I want to ask, is it hard to lead and be responsible for two different projects and two different communities? And had you ever think about maybe uniting them in one, or there's no reason for that?
No, I don't think there's any reason to really combine the two projects. They're really two separate universes.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, again, I can't go too deep into it because we're kind of it's how
Spoilers.
should I put there's something else that we're working on
Uh-huh.
that kind of would allow us to expand Remnants in a very big way.
Of course.
I can't go into it just because we're in the midst of talks. But yeah, we would never combine them. They're just two separate universes. We have big plans for the heist and that game expansion, and we have big plans for the Remnants. It's a gaming studio. We're gonna always launch games because that's how we as a company stay alive. I don't really see us in the future creating games that would intertwine. Maybe there'd be some bonus where, hey, if you own X NFT in Remnants, you could get Y bonus in the heist or a subsequent game, or for example with the Remnants, if you held a certain amount of Remnants, even 1 through 50, no matter how many you held, you got access to our pre-sale for heist. So community is always first. We're always going to give to those and try and provide as much value to those who believed in us from day one. When it was just really a team of like four of us and nobody knew who we were. I know I'm getting long in the tooth here and getting long winded, but yeah, I couldn't see us combining the two games, but there can definitely absolutely be benefits for those who hold multiple of the NFTs and characters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I also think you're the best person to ask questions I really want to ask right now because
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the games and I'm playing from my childhood, etc. And I really wondering, do you believe that the future of games development, game sphere in general, uh, these have a future through the NFTs?
So are you asking, do I think NFTs are going to play a large role in future game
Mm-hmm.
development?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I don't see a future in which they don't. And I know short term, the pain is that Web 2 gaming and Web 3 gaming are very, very separate. I don't think it's a secret that Web 2 gamers, a majority, have this negative connotation and attitude towards Web 3 gaming because they think or have witnessed the extreme financialization of it, right? So, from an outsider's perspective, it makes sense. They just see, what they see is the so and so bought and sold an NFT for this amount, so and so made this much money playing the game. And for hardcore gamers, like the financialization is not all that important. What is important and what I think is going to catch on fire, probably within the next 3 to 5 years, if I'm being honest, is the ability and knowledge of owning one's assets. And that goes from, the game character itself. It goes to the cosmetics. It goes to the, if they got weapons or special bonuses. I think what people are going to start to realize is, oh shit, if I buy a console, for example, what games do you like? Do you play any console or desktop games?
Yeah, I had experience.
Okay, so let's say for Call of Duty, for
Mm-hmm.
general knowledge sake, you get an Xbox, costs a couple $100. You buy Call of Duty, or just play Warzone. You spend $200 on characters, and skins and operators. You buy a couple of guns that cost you another $100, so you're about 600 bones in the red. And all of that is either given to the manufacturer or the developers themselves. I think what's going to happen, I'm very confident in this, is that users are going to see, oh, wait, I can actually spend on the cosmetics, on the operators, on the guns, and I can actually freely trade that over time to other players like myself and retain that value. So you're really just pivoting from a move to the developers being the sole beneficiaries to really the creators. And I think that's the ethos of Web3. And it's why I'm so bullish on Web3 gaming and NFTs, is really just this ownership of assets. And I think that's really going to ring home. It's on us as the builders right now. I think there's still a lot of friction in terms of UI, UX knowledge, um, with these games coming out. But from ourselves, and then I look at other games that are coming out in the next few years as far as AAA gaming titles go. I think everyone's becoming better at realizing what is important and what isn't to the mass majority of Web 2 gamers. But I absolutely 100,000% believe that NFTs will play a massive role here in game development very, very soon.
Okay, that's a great answer. I can agree with your position, to be honest, because it, it seems like it always been there. Like, for example, the Counter Strike and the Dota, there are always some items that could be traded, and you can even earn through the trading. So that the NFTs, like right now, it's like upgraded version.
Yep, exactly. There's an MMORPG I played called Tibia, and they've wisened up and realized, hey, people are going to want to sell their characters, so you can level up the character, you can have their equipment,
Hmm.
but the developer still has the ability to freeze those characters. They take a huge percentage of the transactions. You can't transfer the character out of games, so there's zero interoperability. So I think Web3 just opens up a whole new layer of ownership for the actual um, user and the
Absolutely,
consumer.
absolutely, absolutely. So, back to Remnants and the Haste. You in the Remnants do you have some positions there, right?
Drive opposition.
Yeah, I mean you're working on the Remnants too.
Oh yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yes.
I asked you, is it hard to lead and be responsible for two different projects and communities?
I do not lead the Remnants. So I'm part of all of our employees are part of the studio. So we do touch both projects.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, I'm personally the lead for the Heist, which is where I spend a majority of my time.
Mm-hmm.
I help out historically with Remnants on the marketing communication side of things. But actually, one of my partners is the lead as far as the Remnants goes.
Okay, I understand. So if you're the lead in the Haste, I think
Yep.
we can talk about the Haste.
Sure.
Haste
Yeah.
is
Let's do it.
super successful and hyped right now. People really love the game and it works pretty great. So I want to ask you, in your opinion, how long you will be able to keep rewarding holders with great prizes, and how long you guys will be able to keep the Nana token at good rates? Do you already have some kind of plan or strategy, or you can tell mm, some the mechanism you already had?
Yeah, so I mean, the tokenomics model that we created for the heist was done very purposefully, and I think you see it in action right now. So, there's always been a problem with tokenomics models in the past that we've seen with Axiom, you saw with DeFi
Mm-hmm.
Kingdoms, and we saw with Steppen. So, we kind of created our model with a finite supply and in which users will need to spend to enjoy the game, not just in this season but for all future seasons as well. So it has both, the current value of Nana is you spend to either get cosmetics or upgrade your character, or potentially even get more NFTs in the form of raffles, which have been super successful. So there's a ton of buy pressure on Nana from that. But also there's the speculators who say, okay, if this is really needed for season 2, which it will be, I should be stacking this up instead of continuously selling it. And that there's a perceived value of it being higher in the future. Now the market's going to do what the market's going to do. We will never say we have control over, the price going up in perpetuity. But what we can do is build a fun, kick-ass game that people actually enjoy and want to spend Nana on, and the rest should take care of itself in theory. That's what we're seeing right now. People are just genuinely enjoying the game, genuinely wanting to improve their characters, whether it's from like an aesthetic standpoint with cosmetics, or through upping their skills and stats, or through getting more NFTs so they can potentially earn even more and enjoy the game. Um, that's what we're seeing, and it's going well. We have a ton of game content to release over the next few weeks, over the next few months, and then on to season 2. um yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's going good, so I'll knock on wood, but it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, okay, I understand. About the game itself, how long you guys were developing, and where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so the idea, we probably conceptualized this, I want to say almost a year ago, like last summer. We knew that we wanted to launch a second gaming title. We didn't really know what it looked like at first. Like, it wasn't the heist. It went through many iterations. We had looked at what games had been successful as far as blockchain goes. So two that we took a bunch of inspiration from was Wolf Game and Cops Game. We have a very, not a very, we have a similar model to, the base core mechanics of that game. Then we looked around at other games that did well in the form of like DeFi Kingdoms and Crash Game from like a gambling perspective. Because of course, again, we want to appeal to the current existing crypto native community. Um, but we kind of took bits and pieces, almost like a Web3 game Frankenstein, and we put it back together. And where a lot of these games go wrong, as I just alluded to, is a tokenomics model. So we did spend a bunch of time on tokenomics, pair that up with development. This has probably been going on for the past 6 or 7 months as far as building it out goes. We definitely had a huge leg up in just having the infrastructure from Remnants. So there was a lot that we had already built, proprietary, of course, that we didn't need to rebuild for the heist. So that definitely took off a couple months in terms of game development too. And the same would go for any future game that we launch too. So it's been going on, conceptualized about 12 months, building wise 6 or 7 months. And yeah, what we'd launched now. I think the game's been live for a little longer than 30-ish days. Yeah, yeah. About 34, 35 days.
And when you just started building the game, you already knew that people will love it that much, or you had some doubts?
We had high conviction people would like it. We did user testing beforehand and said like, uh, the various questions that we'd ask the community. But given the success that we saw from those previous games, we had pretty solid hopes, and I wouldn't even call it hopes because that's too speculative. We just had strong conviction that it was going to be enjoyed, even though people were chirping us in the beginning saying, "Oh, no one's going to play this. This is, just another Web3 game failure. We kind of knew in the back of our minds people were going to enjoy the gameplay. So we spent a ton of time on the UI UX too, and I know we've gotten a ton of praise, which has been humble and just fucking awesome, to be honest. But we spent the time, did our research, which in the end just equated to us being confident in what we were launching.
Mm-hmm. And I can say that the game is really great. Not gonna lie, it works amazing right now.
Yeah, you've been playing it. Do you have chimps and gorillas, or what are you working with?
I had the pleasure to touch the game, and to be honest, I'm not a daily player. But when you guys just minted and posted that the game is live, I checked it, and it was great.
Nice, awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you.
So now I want to talk a little bit more about yourself, Juice.
Sure.
What is
Um,
your exact position right now in the haste? What are you doing?
so for the heist, for lack of a better term, I'm just a project lead. Mostly where my time is spent is on marketing, growth, and public communications. But since we are a small, tight startup bootstrap team, both myself and others tend to go across all sectors or silos of the company too. But I would say those are my main focuses: is marketing, growth, and communications.
Mm-hmm. What you were doing previously before the Longwoods and when you came into NFTs?
Good question. I don't know if I can talk about this. So right before, I was actually working two jobs. So I was still working a full 9 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever you call it, full time gig, um, as a marketing person for a institutional crypto firm.
Oh
We
wow.
had actually launched the first Bitcoin based mutual fund in the United States. So, around that time, probably a couple of years before 2019, 2020, I started doing some advising as well for projects on protocols and DeFi projects on Ethereum. So I've been in the space for quite some time. One of my claims to fame is I worked at Facebook for one single day before getting the hell out of there. But I've been in crypto for quite some time now. I've been in marketing for my entire career. Worked with some global clients too, global marketing agencies as well on the growth side of things. So my focus has always been marketing, growth, and communications.
Wow, that's really solid experience. Very respectful.
Thank you, thank you, appreciate that.
What are your personal preferences in the NFTs? What are you holding by yourself?
I used to hold a ton. Now I hold a little. I honestly have Remnants and Heist. I have a Dead Kings for from the Dead
Yeah, I
King
can see.
Society,
I
if you're
can see.
familiar. um, I don't know. It's just that's my way of staying in the know. Like a great alpha group or a great group of people like Dead Kings just keeps me aware. As a project lead or whatever you want to call it, founder, it's super tough to just keep up with everything in the space. And the truth is, I don't really have time for more than two, maybe three discords on a daily basis. And I think that rings true for most folks. And that's why you see people gravitate towards certain NFTs. And once they find a good community, they just kind of stick there. I know you've got your jelly, but people, if they've got their degen apes or they've got their block, what's it called? Even cats was a huge, strong community. Um, I know I'm going off tangent here, but I don't hold much at the moment. I've got some Nekazuma because my boys Chivas and Jet are over there building that. I'm trying to pop up my wallet. I do own some Web3 gaming NFTs that are not expected to drop anytime soon, but more of a speculative play. I own Solana, of course. Um, my wallet's taking forever to load. But long story short, I don't own a ton. I do have Bastards, close with the guys over there. And that's kind of it, man. Net runner for taxes, but yeah, not much.
Okay, okay, that's good. All good. How many Heist NFTs you're holding by yourself currently?
I've got three, and really it's just to stay as a daily player. So
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't need many. I'm never going to sell them. I don't sell the Nana. So I've got two chimps and a gorilla in my main wallet. So I play the game. I check in probably 3 or 4 times a day. But I think it's important for those who are building the game to also be able to speak to it and be pretty knowledgeable on all the updates and the fixes and the bugs, and just strategy too. So I'm always getting there and mixing up in the Discord as far as strategy goes to know what's the hot alpha from a player's perspective. But yeah, it's fun, man. I love playing it too. It is a good game.
Yeah, so you're betting on your team. Love it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, do you have something to spoiler a bit, maybe? What else should we expect from Heist in near future?
In the near future, just a ton of game content. I mean, we still have a bunch of Nana syncs that we need to introduce, which will just further burn Nana, but also be fun. So we've got this rewards hub launching either this week or next. I have to go back and touch base with the team. But the rewards hub, which will introduce some new gamified features, which are going to be super fun. I know we're launching our PFP NFT bonuses, where if you have our PFP on Twitter, you'll earn some in-game rewards. Um, we've got, I know we're not calling it a casino anymore. I think we're just calling it Harambe's Games,
Mm,
which will be some mini games that players can play in between their heists and their robberies, to win, to spend and win Nana. Um, and of course, just like regular game content, new skills, new items, new cosmetics, new locations within the map. And then, further out, we're going to start teasing map expansion, the new updates for season 2, and what that is going to entail, which I'm super pumped about. But yeah, the next 90-ish days will be quite crazy in terms of like the speed in which we're putting out new content. I think it's going to continue surprising a lot of people for such a small bootstrap team of what we can accomplish in a very small amount of time.
mm, that's great and looking forward to it. And at the beginning, you said that something big will happen with the Remnants too. So maybe I have to add the Remnant too.
Yep, we got big stuff coming out front too.
Okay, that's so cool, man. So I think I have to ask the last questions, and this is my favorite one, to be honest.
Let's go.
How do you see,
Fire away.
yeah, how do you see Longwood Labs, Remnant, and Heist in a couple of years?
Um, I think I could answer just from like a Longwood Labs perspective. You know, what I've pictured is us being the de facto or go-to Web3 idle casual gaming studio. So for me, launching several gaming titles when they make sense, making the games that we have currently going on just the best possible experience, especially from mobile. I think one thing we could improve upon is just like the mobile experience. What right now doesn't exist yet for the Heist, but for the Remnants as well. Because that's where the world is going. That's where the puck is going. It's just going to be mobile gaming experiences. We want to be at the forefront, whether it's um, the Heist or Remnants or any future title that we want to launch. Um, we want to grow it to be big. Right now the sky is still the limit. We're very, very confident in our team's ability. We want to grow that team. We want to keep launching these idle and casual games that are just fun and enjoyable with the benefits of Web3 and blockchain of being able to own the user assets in the form of NFTs and the tokens themselves. But I think we go big with this thing. I really do think and have wholehearted conviction. Of course I do, or else I wouldn't have quit my previous job to go do this full time. But I really do think Longwood Labs becomes the casual and idle gaming studio of Web3, regardless of blockchain. And I truly, truly believe that.
Wow, I really love to hear, and wish you guys best of luck to all of this happen as soon as possible.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I want to hear more from other projects too.
Thank you for coming today, bro. It was a big pleasure for me to meet and talk with you, Juice.
Absolutely. Thanks again for doing this and setting this up. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.